How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, do me a huge favor, go down and subscribe. Today I want to do a little 6-month 5,000 mile review on my 2022 Ford Bronco. There's a lot of things I want to talk about. It's extremely windy outside, but let's take a step in the vehicle, take it out around the block, show you guys a couple of the features my Bronco has, as well as some of the things that I think you guys should know before going into buying one. As you can see there, we're just short of 5,000 miles in this Bronco. I took delivery of this Bronco, I believe on November 4th, 2022. It's currently April of 2023. I believe it's actually the 4th today, so it might exactly be 6 months. Unless my math is completely off. I have an Outer Banks 4-door Sasquatch Eruption Green Ford Bronco. My Bronco has the Oxford leather interior, I believe. I have the Lux pack with the bigger screen, the heated steering wheel, and all those different things. I just thought it's just this much more to upgrade the package. I don't want to look at it later and be like, oh, I wish I did the interior upgrade package. So I went ahead and just got all the options, and I'm very happy with the spec that I chose. I completely spec'd it brand new. I ordered this thing over 18 months before I took delivery of it. I spec'd every single option and every single thing on this Bronco. I have the upgraded 2.7 liter V6 compared to the small inline 4. The inline 4, just for me, I don't see the point of getting it, and I definitely see the point in upgrading to the 2.7. I really wish Ford would have came out with the V8, and some people think like if Ford put a V8 in this thing, the gas mileage and all of these different things would go straight down. If Ford put a Coyote in these, some people say they'd lose efficiency, but I honestly think that it might even be the same, if not a little bit better, with a Coyote than the EcoBoosts. The 2.7 really isn't that economical. You're getting somewhere around 19 to 20 miles to the gallon, on like max in the 2.7 with the Sasquatch. I think with the Coyote you might get pretty much the same gas mileage. Now I have the 3rd model year of the Ford Bronco, and we heard about a lot of issues kind of happening with the Broncos. Top issues, leaks, all of these different things. So let me tell you a little bit about what the tops were like before and what the tops are like now. So before, Ford was having a huge delay in the tops. I think the Bronco came out a little bit premature, and I think Ford should have finalized and buttoned down a couple of different things like the tops before they actually went into production. But I think the thing was, Ford kind of got screwed by the top manufacturer, because Ford doesn't make the tops, obviously. What happened was, I'm pretty sure the top manufacturer said, yeah, we're all good to go, you know, we can supply all the tops that you need for your Broncos. And then what ended up happening was they could not supply hardtops for the demand that Ford got for the Bronco. And it was also at the time where the whole economy and market was kind of just like, oh yeah, if you want anything, you're gonna have to wait a ton of time for it. So I think the Bronco kind of just got screwed in the time, as well as Ford kind of getting screwed by the top company. Ford did change top companies from the first model year. And then talking about the top, I have the hardtop in my car, obviously, as you guys can see. The hardtop does not make a lot of noise. When I first got the Bronco, I thought it was making a little bit of extra noise, but when I remember back to my friends' Jeeps and whatnot, they make very similar noises. It is extremely windy outside, and you can barely hear a little bit of wind noise from the Bronco. One thing I will say is when it does snow and there is ice formed on the top, it makes an awful creaking sound, and that's really the only thing that I can complain about. So the last 5,000 miles have honestly been pretty mild. You know, there hasn't really been too much that's gone on, other than a couple of issues that I've had. So I've told the one issue in a couple of different videos before, and the other issue I have actually never brought up. So the first issue, I haven't really talked about this, but I was in Milwaukee, and I turned the Bronco off, left for about 5 minutes, came back, turned the Bronco on, and I had the brake light just on, and it was yelling at me. The brakes were working fine, everything was working fine, and then when I turned the Bronco off and turned it back on after about 20 minutes, everything went away. Some sensor thing probably came up, and that's an issue I haven't talked about, but something to mention, I think. If you guys follow my channel, you guys already know the second thing, but pretty recently what happened was the passenger side window, if I tried to bring it up, it would automatically slam back down. That had to do with a simple window reset, something a little annoying. Apparently it's pretty common in pretty much all newer vehicles. I have never had the issue or heard of it until I looked it up and saw that the Broncos are having it pretty commonly. So those are the only 2 issues that I've really had with it, other than the top creaking and making a little bit of noise when there's ice on it. The Broncos have kind of got a little bit of a bad rep because the first year that came out, the first year they had some issues, very minor issues like the tops, the tie rods, and like all the different things kind of just came together, and the media was like, oh, Ford made a vehicle that is going to absolutely suck. And then the second year, they improved the tops, they changed the top manufacturers. I haven't really heard too many things about tie rods breaking, but obviously it's not a solid front axle, so it's not really meant for the super hardcore off-road. Bronco not having the solid front axle makes it a lot more comfortable to drive on-road than a Jeep. If you think about it, I understand that these things are made for on and off-road use. Totally understand that. But one thing to mention is the Broncos are $35,000 to $40,000 base price. If you're buying a car for $35,000 to $40,000, most likely you're going to be driving it on a daily basis, if not a very consistent basis. And I don't know about you, but my daily commute does not consist of hills and hardcore off-road. I totally understand the enthusiasm of going off-road. I want to take my Bronco off-road. One of the reasons I got the Sasquatch package was it seemed very fitting, and it was already ready to go from the factory. I've never taken anything off-road. I'm not an off-road enthusiast yet. Possibly, maybe I'll enjoy it and I'll buy a more hardcore off-roader, but for simple trails, for simple things that I want to do with it, it is more than enough. Maybe we will see a V8, maybe we will see a solid front axle. I'm not sure. No one's really sure at this point in time. But not having solid front axle makes this thing incredibly smooth on the road. I've enjoyed driving this thing. It feels like you're literally on top of the road. You're driving a tank, and it gives just an awesome SUV truck feeling. It feels like a truck, but you don't have the extra bed in the back, and it's not huge. The cabin is very, very comfortable, and that's something I love about the Bronco. But talking about the cabin being small, you still have plenty of room back here. A pretty big complaint I have in some of the newer vehicles is, why even have back seats if you're not going to make them usable? But sitting behind myself, I'm about 6 feet tall, I have plenty of legroom, and obviously because of the boxy shape, I have plenty of headroom. Another complaint of the Bronco is that it doesn't have a really good sound system. Now, the sound system in the Bronco is good. It's good enough for me. I don't really listen to music like turned up all the way. I think it's good, but it's not great. There are different options you can do. You can put a JBL soundbar up there, which I might consider because it acts kind of as a surround sound speaker, as well as when you have the doors off and everything, you can actually hear. It's nothing to write home about, but it's also not something to complain about. I do have the upgraded B&O sound system though, so maybe that makes the difference. The media is always going to go negative. The Bronco is an amazing vehicle. Pretty much any owner I talk to in my comment section, other than a very, very select few, have absolutely loved their Broncos. Maybe you're looking to do more hardcore off-roading, and maybe the Bronco is not the vehicle for you. But for leisure trails, for, let's be real, for mall crawling, this thing is awesome, and the Bronco is a fantastic new vehicle from Ford. But let's get one thing straight. This is not a Wrangler, this is a Bronco. They're different vehicles. Ford bringing back the Bronco name, I think this is a worthy successor to the Bronco lineage. The Bronco over the last 6 months has been amazing. It was everything I expected it to be, and maybe a little bit more. That is all I have for this video though. If you guys did enjoy, you guys are planning to buy a Bronco, let me know in the comment section down below. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.